Hello, is everyone here?
Yes.
How are you, Anna?
How are you, Naz?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you with the tests and everything?
With the test, yeah, good. But unfortunately, I couldn't download the listening part, and I was having a really big issue on my computer, the laptop.
Why not you hear it from the YouTube? It's all on the YouTube.
Is there?
Yeah. Just write the name of the book, the test number,
Okay.
and you will have the video of the test, and the answers will be also included. Yes, at the end.
Okay, really? Okay, I just need to write the Cambridge 12, like.
Yes.
Oh,
Only Cambridge 12 test 1, 2.
Okay. I didn't get this. Didn't come into my mind at all.
Yeah, I'm doing it because it's easier, because I'm not so into the laptop. I'm using
but
my.
You can have. But you can have like the paper or the test on screen, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
of course, yes. It's
While
easier.
you're listening.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will try that because I think since last week I couldn't do the listening practice, and I couldn't get the. So it was a bit difficult for me to download everything, and I couldn't download the zip.
You should have asked. You had asked us.
I don't know what's the problem with my Windows. I can't download that WinZip or ZipWin. I don't know what you call it.
Okay, maybe the version or something.
Yeah, I think maybe. So now now I just got the Cambridge IELTS 12 journal training booklet downloaded. It's not downloaded.
Mama.
Whose child is this?
بس اسمعيني شغنانة
بس دوم طيب
شغنانة
روح دلوقتي يلا
شغنانة يا شغنانة
ايوه السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. ويلكم باك. بس يا حبيبي عليكم السلام. Okay, now Marwa, put your kids to bed now. Put your kids to bed. It's time to sleep.
I'm so sorry. I thought it's silent. I'm so sorry. Mute. I'm so sorry.
Not muted. Adam ملعلع ما شاء الله. Okay. All right. So, shall we start reading today, inshallah? I just wanted to remind you guys that for the reading, we will have how many sections? How many parts for the reading? 3 parts. 3 for the reading. Excellent. Excellent. For 3 sections for both academic and general. All right? Unfortunately, for the general, they have 2 passages in each section, sections 1 and 2. and we have only one passage. So total in the general test is 5 passages, and the total in the academic test is 3 sections. All right? Easy to know. But what we know, what we also should know, is that the passages are quite long and they need some specific techniques to be able to deal with it and to handle answering these questions in the given time. For your knowledge, the reading section, in the reading section, you will be given 60 minutes. 60 minutes. For these, either 3 passages or 5 passages. Okay? So this means that I have to cover these 3 passages or 5 passages within the given time. If there are 3 passages, then it's better if you give 18, and 24 minutes for the last section, because usually the last part is the most difficult one. If you're taking the general test, means that you're going to have 5 passages. 5 passages in 60 minutes means every section should be given, or for each passage should be given how many minutes? How many minutes? 60 divided 12. 60 divided 5.
12.
12 minutes, very good. So 12 minutes for each. But again, we don't calculate it in this way. We say that for section 1, 18 minutes. Section 2, 18 minutes. Section 3, 24 minutes. So if you're giving each section 18 minutes, this means that each passage should take 9 minutes, not 12. Understand? You don't understand? Allow me to open. A minute, please.
So you mean to say we need to give for the 5 passage, the general test, 9 minutes for each section?
Yes, 9, 24.
Oh.
You got it?
Okay.
1 minute and I will explain everything on the board. Okay, here we go. So here, as we said before, for the reading section, we'll be given 5 passages for the general test and 3 passages for the academic. 3 passages for the academic. Also, sorry. This should take 60 minutes overall. All right, how can I divide my time? I divide my time 18 minutes for either section 1 and section 2. And section 2. So 18 minutes for section 1, 18 minutes for section 2, and finally, I would give 24 minutes for section 3. For section 3, okay? Easy? If I'm going to do section 1 in 18 minutes and section 1 has 2 passages, so each section of these should take to take?
9 minutes.
Yes, so 9 minutes, 9 minutes, and for section 2, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, and for section 3, 24 minutes. Clear enough? Is there anything you don't understand so far? Okay, now, what are the differences between passage 1, passage 2, and passage 3, or section 1, section 2, and section 3? Usually, these sections, either in the general test or the academic test, are taken from, in the general test, it's usually taken from a magazine or a newspaper articles. So, mainly, they are informative articles. Informative means they have information about a certain topic. Does this mean that I have to have a prior knowledge about it? Prior knowledge about what I'm going to read? Not at all. You don't have to have a prior knowledge about the topic you're going to read. But undoubtedly, that would be really better if you know anything about it. This means that we should start practicing reading at any and at every topic, starting from today. Why? Because the more we're going to read, the more information we'll get, the easier your test will be. It's better if you have enough information about the topic that you are going to read about. Yet, it won't be very difficult for you to answer the topic if you already handle the skills that are required for the reading test. Okay? What are the skills needed for answering the questions after you read 2,700 words? Passages, the length of the passage could reach up to 2,700 words, means 270 lines, especially in section 3. Do you think that if you read just for pleasure, if you read just for the sake of reading, will you be able to answer your test on time? I'm asking you guys, will you be able to answer the test on time?
We cannot read everything in this short time.
So what do you think, guys, we should do?
But a key question here, we will have both the passages and the question at the same time, or we read then we receive the question? Because if we have both at the same time, it will be much better to read the question first to identify the hot topics we need to focus about. Then during the reading, once we meet this, we could tackle it.
Okay, let me say that in the question paper, you will be given both the questions and the passages. Both of them will be in the same paper. But the point is that, Muhammad, whether to read the questions first and then refer back to the passage to find out the answers, or to read the passage or to skim the passage, then refer back to the questions. Which one is more convenient? Can I take your opinions, please?
For me, I will read the question first.
The best thing you said, Muhammad, now is for me. Now, this is the thing that I want you, or this is the issue that I want you to pay attention to. Actually, we differ. We as human beings differ. Some people find it really easy for them to read the questions first, then refer back to the passage. Others believe that it's better if they skim the passage, get to know the main ideas in it, and then refer back to the questions. I will explain both ways, and you have to test yourselves with both ways till you get to know yourself, what is better for you. You won't be able to determine whether this or that way is easier for you unless you try both ways. After you try both ways and you see that, well, I'm much comfortable with this or that way, then at that time you have to know that this is the pattern that you should follow every time. Whether to read the questions first or to get the summary of whatever you're reading first. Understand? Right. Yes. Again, what are the most important tips that I should do in order, for example, let's imagine that we have a passage that has 150 lines only. 150 lines. And we need to finish these 120 lines in 9 minutes. How can we do that? Is it a miracle? And also answer the questions. It's not only about reading. How can we do this?
So how many questions we are going to have per each part?
شوف يا محمد. Total questions, the total number of the questions is 40 questions. 40 questions for the reading passage. Same for the listening. 40 questions here and 40 questions there. All right? For the 40 questions, if you have 30, you will, yani there is not specific number or set of numbers for each passage. Sometimes they are 10, other times less, like 12 or 15 other times for each passage. Depends on how many passages you have for each section. Okay? So, but the total number of questions is 40 questions for the reading section. Okay?
Okay.
And now to the most important skills that I want you guys to master starting from now. What are these skills? Now I just want to ask you a question. Would it be beneficial to read the whole passage and then try to answer the questions? Definitely not.
It takes a lot of time.
It will take all the time, definitely. Also, imagine that you were successful or you succeeded in managing your time and you found time to read it. Will you find memory to store all the information that you have already read in order to answer the questions later on?
No.
Definitely not. Unless you're a superhero, you have another card memory in your mind, right? If you have a memory card in your additional memory card, then that would be great.
It's a memory, and also you need to define the objective. If you started reading without reading the passage, without reading the questions, you will be like someone who's swimming without knowing where he's going.
Excellent.
If you started by reading the questions first, you know what is the objective, then you could focus about it.
Muhammad, don't try to impose your point of view. Some people read the questions first, but they find it really difficult to find out the answers. There are two schools, Muhammad, that I want you to know about. Some people believe that reading the passage or skimming the passage first and referring back to the questions is the best way. While others, as I said before, prefer to read the questions first and then refer back to the text. But the main skill that I want you guys to learn is, I would love to share my screen once more. Okay, am I sharing my screen now? No? Sharing screen. All right, that was my speaking test. And here is the reading part. Okay, so let's take one sample, which is here. Reading passage 1. Look at the passage and how does it look like? Here is the passage. This is passage 1. And it's not finished yet. Here is the completion of passage 1. This is academic, by the way. General and academic, as I said before, there is no big difference between them, right? So just look at how long is the passage. This is the right length or the length that you may see in your test. It is too long to the extent that you would never be able to do it, to read it all. And if you were able to do it on time, you would never find, again, a memory to store all this information. So what should I do? Number 1, I should do something called skim and scan. Skim and scan. What do I mean by the word skim? Anyone knows what's to skim?
To go through it very fast.
Excellent. And then what about going through it? To go through it to do what?
To just take the main ideas of each passage, I think.
Bravo. Yani, what should I do now? Look at me. If this is the first topic that is given to me, Japan has significantly a better record in terms of average mathematical attainment than England and Wales. Well, all I have to do is, number 1, underline here, underline the first sentence, which is here. This is the first sentence. And as we learned before, the first sentence is the
Main idea.
Excellent, ya Muhammad. So this is the main idea that the paragraph is talking about. Then do I need to read the whole paragraph later on? No. What should I do then? All I have to do later on is to determine where are the clue words that might be relevant or that I might be asked about. Here we have the dates, some dates like 1916. What else? Do we have any other dates? Yes, 13, age of 13. Do we have any other dates? Someone please to help me. Any other dates?
On this paragraph, we don't have any.
Yes, on this very specific paragraph. Do we have any other thing? No. What else do I have? Well, here we have names of countries. Would you please tell me what are the names of countries that were mentioned here?
There is England and
Japan first.
Japan.
What else? Go through the passage. We have England. What else?
Wales.
Huh?
Wales.
Very good. We have Japan again. Comparisons of entertainment. Japanese. Here we have the word Japanese, which is people. Then England once more. Then we'll have the word, do we have Wales here? Yes, products spent nearly 2 countries higher. All right, and we have Wales as well. All right, so what did I do now? I just underlined the main important idea. First of all, read the title of the lesson, which is Land of the Rising Sun. This is the title. Why? Because I need to get the whole idea. I need to understand what is the topic about. Then underline the main idea in every passage, in every paragraph. So if I did this here, then I should do the same in paragraph B, which is until I find the period. Then I move to paragraph 3, and so on. I will keep on doing the same, here and there and here and there. Understand? Then after that, this is what I mean by the word skim. Why do I underline them? Actually, I underline them to do something very, very nice, which is to start writing down the main idea of each paragraph, summarizing them. So if they're saying that Japan has significantly better records in terms of average mathematical attainment than England and Wales, so this is, what is the summary of this idea? Summarize this idea, please.
Japan is more advanced country than England and Wales.
Okay, Japan is more advanced in mathematical attainment, or Japan compared to England and Wales, correct? What about the second paragraph? May. May, are you there? Seems that May is too busy today. All right, let's ask Ala. Ala is too busy too. Are you busy, Ala?
Yes.
Are you busy?
What is the question?
Again, oh sure, no problem. No problem, dear. The question again, what is the main idea in paragraph B? How can you summarize? Yes? Any idea, dear?
I'm just reading.
Okay.
No idea.
Okay. Anyone?
Secondary schools in Japan.
Secondary school in the thing about.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with the whole topic? We don't know yet, right? It's mainly about lower secondary schools in Japan. And overall, if you try to get any numbers that are written here, we have 15 minutes. Yes, we have 10 minutes break and many others that are coming. If you notice here, what am I doing? I just underlined the first sentence in each paragraph. write down the summary of each sentence here, of each paragraph here. I must write down the summary here. Must. And why do I say it's a must? Because I need, this is the most required, this part is the most required part while answering the questions. That would be the most required part while answering the questions. Okay? So what do I need? I need to write the summary of each main idea here. And this is what I mean by the word skimming. Going through the passage, not only this, what else should I do after I go through the passage? And reading, or comma, reading carefully, and writing a summary. Okay, this is skimming. And then I move to something else called scanning. After I'm done with this all, what am I supposed to do? I must scan. Scan means that I should refer to the questions here. Refer to the questions here. Now, starting with the first questions that I have. Let me erase this all. Okay. I should start with the questions here. The questions are, do the following statements agree with the claims of the writer in reading passage 1? In boxes 9 to 6 of your answer sheet, write yes, no, or not given. These are the types of the questions that we're going to discuss later. But for now, we need to learn. Here, there is a wider range of achievement. There is a wider range of achievement among English pupils studying math than amongst their Japanese counterparts. No. What is the clue word here? I have to circle the clue word here in the question. Wider range is my first. No, first of all, wider range of achievement. Amongst who? Amongst English pupils studying math than amongst their Japanese counterparts. Unfortunately, you're unlucky because in this type of a question, there are no clue words. Why? Because I have to read each and every word here very carefully. Some words are very tricky, are too tricky, if I'm not mistaken. Why? Because here, the word wider range could be too tricky. Sometimes they give me questions like almost all the pupils, almost the majority of the pupils. And in the passage, you find it as a very small percentage of students. So at that time, I have to be very careful to each and every word here. So in this question, yes, no, not given. I don't have to circle the clue words in the question. What do I have to do? Actually, all I have to do is to read each and every word in the question very carefully. And then I try to find these words in the respective paragraphs. Here they are comparing between the achievement among the English pupils and the Japanese counterparts, their Japanese counterparts. I should go up, try to find this comparison to know exactly where or which paragraph, in which paragraph should I find the answer. Look and skim the passages now and try to tell me which paragraph I should stop at. I will start from the first paragraph again.
First paragraph.
أنا مستعجل.
A quick one. In terms of question sequence, will it be in line with the passage sequence or it may not be?
ده سؤال جميل. Yes, it is related to the passages sequence. Definitely. Except for some questions. Like, for example, they give you a question like match headings to paragraphs. In that case, yani, they would never arrange it. Otherwise, they are answering indirectly, Muhammad, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, they are arranged in sequence according to the order that the passages go. But in some questions, unfortunately, they won't be that organized or arranged in this manner. All right. So again, I'll ask you to go through the passage again and tell me in which paragraph do you expect this question to be?
I think it's the first paragraph.
The first paragraph. Okay, why?
Because it says that that Japan, and then they're comparing Japan and England in the first line.
Thank you very much.
Then they are, yes.
Do we have the word pupils here?
Yes, in the second sentence.
Thank you very much. Now, I would love to move to the next question, and you guys tell me whether it's there or not, or in which paragraph it is there. Okay, let's take question number 7. The percentage of gross national product spent on education generally reflects the level of attainment in mathematics. Percentage of gross national product. You think that I should circle any clue words here to find them up in the passages?
Gross national product.
Good. So I have to try to circle this word and try to find it above in the passage.
It was in first paragraph.
But wait, just a minute. Yes, Marwa. A minute, please. Sometimes they don't give the same synonyms or the same meanings because they use synonyms, and they depend on you realizing what's the synonym to this or to that word. Okay?
Okay.
So we have to be very careful to the synonyms that are given to us. So gross national product, we refer back to the passage. Gross national product, where exactly was it mentioned? Where did I go?
I think it's down.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Oh, yes, here it is. So do you think it's here? Which paragraph would we find this?
It's the third,
First
last
paragraph.
third.
Sixth line.
Excellent. Bravo. Here, the percentage of gross national. Here we go.
Product spent on education. This is referring to the two countries.
Dr. Amir, the percentage of gross national product spent on education is reasonably similar in the two countries. Right?
They are same.
خد بالك إنه في هنا reasonably similar. If you look at the question, you would definitely find it stated in different words or given in different synonyms. Okay? And so on. So this is the first skills that I want you guys to learn, which is the skimming and scanning. Understand? Skimming and scanning. So the first thing I need to do is to read the first sentence in each paragraph, summarize it. After I get a short idea or a hint of an idea about what each paragraph is talking about, I'll go start reading my questions and try to relate the questions to their respective paragraphs. Okay? Got it now? Okay, that was the first tip that I wanted you to know. Then what is the second tip? The second most important tip is, as I said, number 1, that we must read the passage very carefully, or the main ideas in the passage very carefully. Number 2, we need to develop our speed reading skills. We need to develop our speed reading skills. Because as you guys know, reading for pleasure is totally different than reading for implementing or reading for tests. Reading for tests is just skimming and scanning. Reading for pleasure is reading everything. We need to learn now how to read for implementing the information or for finding out the information. Now on, we should start skimming and scanning each and every passage that we read. For that, as I told you before, we will need to use any of the newspapers, the English newspaper that you may buy or browse online on any of the websites. Okay? What newspaper can we get? Or do people usually read English newspapers? Like what? Anyone can recommend any?
Like Arab News.
Huh?
Arab News.
Arab News, that's a good one. What about the Gazette? What else?
Guardian.
The Guardian, very good. And so many others. So whatever newspaper you can get, either online or a real newspaper, please do not hesitate in getting it and reading at least one interesting article that you may find interesting to you. Do not read it all, just start practicing reading for implementation. Scan and skim. Okay, number 3, do not try to understand the full passage, please. Right, the question now is, what should I understand in this text? And is it only about skimming and scanning and try to find where is when? Definitely not. أكيد لازم يكون في there must be a comprehension part. Can you guys tell me where should I comprehend the passage that I read? Where is the comprehension needed?
Question maybe?
Excellent. You need to understand the question carefully. This is one. Then when you refer back to the part or to the respective part that you may find the answer in, then at that time you have to stop, zoom in, and focus to read each and every word, not only to read it, to read and comprehend and understand each and every word you're reading. Then you compare the question to the answer. At that time, you'll be able to answer the questions very, very successfully. This means that I don't have to understand each and every word in the passage. I only have to read the respective sentences that I am asked about. Read them, understand them very carefully. Again, there are some very confused words like almost, rarely, barely, the majority of, the minority of, most of, a little, a few. These words are very confusing, okay? That's why I'm telling you, we have to focus to the maximum limit. Focus, put your full concentration in the part which is related to the question you're trying to answer. All right? I'll move to another tip, which is developing your vocabulary. Developing your vocabulary. Do you need to develop your vocabulary now on? Yes, since the first day of our course, I told you that you need to develop your vocabulary. That's why we're sending the IELTS breakfast every day, and we're doing our assignments like every class. We are reading as much as possible. We're listening as much as possible. But is this enough? No. You need to learn more and more vocabulary now on till the day you will take your test. And by the way, this is one of the key reasons why students don't get the score they need, which is the vocabulary. Because I believe that learning vocabulary is just not about learning the meaning of the words, rather than learning when you can say and can't use this word. Sometimes we know the meaning of the word, but we misuse them. We use them in the wrong context. Yes? That's why I'm telling you that we need to learn the vocabulary within the proper context, in the proper context. That's why I told you that you need to download this Merriam-Webster dictionary, because there you can find examples to the vocabulary words that you're learning. Learn them in the example, in the context. Do not learn them all by themselves. All right? Also, this means that you must be able to scan the passage quickly to locate the information. You must read or scan the passage quickly to locate the information. If you know the vocabulary well, you will be able to locate the information or to relate the question to its respective part, right? Another tip, which is do not understand or do not try to understand the full passage. Please don't try to do this. This is a waste of time and a waste of effort as well. In regards with the keywords that I told you before, you will definitely have a pencil in your test, and each question will have a keyword to help you locate the information in the passage and to try to spot the right answer, okay? We should learn to spot keywords and use them correctly. We're going to practice them together, and we're going to be used to finding out which clue word is where, all right? And then inshallah, we'll soon learn to use them and apply them and find them as much as possible. But some keywords are very obvious, by the way. For instance, names, dates, places, numbers, for example, okay? While other keywords are sometimes very subtle. Do you guys know what's subtle? Subtle means hidden, very good. Unclear, yes? Other keywords are a little bit subtle, or they are given in synonym form or antonym form. Synonym, we said before. What's a synonym?
Same meaning.
Other meaning.
Same meaning? No, same, yes, other meaning, and antonyms, different meanings, okay? Okay. Also, we need to develop our grammar, because the question types, such as the summary completion and sentence completion, requires that the sentence should be grammatically correct when you have put the answer in. Yani, for example, as we said before, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we will be given a word limit. Do you know this? We need to read the directions very carefully, as we said in the listening test. We need to read the directions very carefully. And for the word limits, sometimes you will be given an opportunity to write not more than 2 words, whereas the question, the passage itself has the same answer, but in 3 or 4 words. Then at that time, what do we have to do? We have to shorten the answer and reconstruct the sentence so that we only write it in 2 words rather than 4 or 5 words, right? And what does this mean? This means a very good level of grammar structure skills. Yes? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes, we agree.
Why are you too silent? Are you shocked?
Maybe you're sleepy.
What? You sleepy? Okay. I'm not going to take so much time from now. Let me assure you.
Because we are starting a new topic at the end of the session, so most of us are almost at I would say,
trained. Are almost trained.
The second point, it's a new topic, and we're discussing it using only audio effects. So normally, most of the transfer of the messages, 60% from visual and
Yes.
40% to 30% from audio. So
Yes, yes, I see. I'm trying as much as possible to use my screen, Mohammed, too. But again, let me write them next time. I promise you to write them on my board once more so that you can get like a whole visual effects. Don't worry about this, okay?
I was planning to ask this at the end of the session to
Oh,
recap
yeah.
at the reading meaning.
I didn't give you a chance to ask this question.
Okay.
Okay.
By the
So,
way, I just keep a notebook, and whenever you start some discussion, I start taking notes.
see, شايف يا محمد, these are the good people. Yeah, she's
I'm
taking
writing, but I'm speaking from scientific point of view.
ماشي, هي دي scientific اللي مجننانا معاكوا دي. Okay. Okay. So another getting used to difficult passages. يا جماعة, this is a very important note, which is try to get used to difficult passages. معلش, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, and I'm not trying to be negative. But this is the truth. You will be surprised or stunned by some very challenging passages, especially when it comes to passage 3.
Last passage.
The last
I have experienced it. It was one of the passages which I never thought it will come.
See?
It was something about like a dinosaur coming out of the water. I don't know what was it called. I don't remember it.
Okay.
It was very difficult.
Definitely, yes.
And it had a lot of point of views and
But Nazish, let me tell you something, you don't have to understand, as I said before, this is the good news. We don't have to understand it all as it is. We just need to understand the questions that are related to this passage. And
this was,
yes?
Yeah. This was my mistake, that I started to read every line and I ran out of the time.
Oh my God. Seriously?
Yeah, really.
What was your first experience and you haven't read anything about the test?
Yeah, I didn't read, actually. I didn't prepare well. I just started to prepare 1 week ago, and then I landed up messing up.
That's so bad. Now I believe that you'll be perfectly prepared, inshallah. Yes?
Inshallah.
Don't let me down. All right? Okay. So we have to get yourself, you have to get yourself used to difficult passages. And please, if you have time before your test, you should be doing your best to reading skills or to getting yourself ready to reading skills and familiarize yourself with complicated passages. All right? For that, we need to read at least the BBC News, the New Scientist, the Economist. These are very nice websites that you can go through. BBC News, New Scientist, and the Economist. Also, as we said before, the Guardian, the Gazette, what else? The Arab News, okay? What else? You have to know your weaknesses. Yani, this is my very important note to you. You have to know your weaknesses. If you know your weaknesses, you will be able to improve yourself in a very short time. So if you know that your weakness is vocabulary or your grammar or the grammar structure or the understanding to a certain topic, for example, then what you should do, you should focus on improving this, okay? Again, you must check the reasons why you're getting your answers wrong or why are you getting your answers right. If you have a specific, because why am I saying this? Because most of the time, most of the students find a specific type of questions, like for example, matching the heading to the paragraphs. They find it the most challenging part. Okay, so here I ask them to please focus on this question, and as I always say, the best way out is through. The best way out is through. So I mean to say, if you're afraid of something, practice it. If you're so much afraid of something and you believe that this is your weakness, start practicing it. I don't want to make it longer than this. I know that you guys are drained and you look to be very, very tired. It is the end of the day and it's almost 10 o'clock. I'll continue this later. Next time, inshallah, we'll start discussing the different types of questions and we'll start practicing the reading as well together, all right? Thank you very much for your patience and thank you for your valuable time. See you, inshallah, on what?
On Friday.
Friday.
Saturday.
Friday? Saturday?
Saturday.
My
Saturday.
goodness. خلاص يعني your batteries are dead. I was talking to myself minutes ago, right? My goodness. Okay, bye. Assalamu alaikum. If you have any answer to this salam. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye. Take care of yourselves.